Hello everyone, I am Hanan Bashir. I'm currently pursuing chemistry from IIT Bombay. Today I'm going to give you an overview of lecture 4 of CH104 in organic chemistry. So let's begin. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about the basic group properties of the periodic table. Now we are going to discuss some properties of carbon and then and its group elements. So this is the first compound which we'll observe that this is a compound where CH3 is linked with allies. So there are total 4 CH3 and 4 allies in this compound. This compound is formed because there is a linkage and a 4C2 electron bond formed between lithium and the methyl groups. Then there is Me2Be and Me2Mg which exist in polymeric structure with three center two bonding CH3 bridges. So for seeing what type of bonding is it, so we just observe that how many centers it has. So in this one you see Me2Mg, you have three center Me, then an Mg, and then again an Me. So it's three center and two electrons are shared between all of them. So this is such type of structure. And the interaction between an sp3 orbital from an methyl group and 2s from the Li in a triangular phase of Li4CH34, this structure which we are discussing, form a totally symmetric four center two electron bonding orbital. And the next higher orbital is a non-bonding and uppermost is anti-bonding. These are the different coordinating molecules which are formed with the cations of the alkali metal. So lithium will have the smallest one, which is 12 crown 4. Then sodium will have a little more big and then bigger, and then so on till rubidium, cesium. We can see that even a smaller molecule, a smaller atom can combine with these bigger ones. But if a bigger cation is kept at the center of a smaller one, then it will come out a bit, and then the bonding won't be happening properly. And this is krypton. Krypton is very good for potassium cation, as it covers it from all sides and its coordination is quite good. This is just like I discussed. If you place a bigger cation at the center, like rubidium and cesium, it won't be able to fit inside this coordinating molecule. Then this is digilim, and this is NaL2 and Kl3. So similarly, just I said that this L, when it will coordinate with sodium from two sides, then we get NaL2 plus, and this is Kl3 when it coordinates from three sides Ll. Then we will get this Kl3. And these are the crystal structures of the complexes of digilim or diglyme, you say. Then simple anhydrous compound of beryllium are covalent in nature. You see that beryllium 4 hydroxide this when we mix with water, then we get BeOH and H2O3 plus and plus our hydroxium ion. So this is its structure. Then this is the structure of Ca2 plus F minus, which is forms an FCC structure, and BeCl2 is a covalent polymer. So we observe that it follows a structure like B2H6. So since it forms something like that, we get the compound B2Cl4. And this is the polymerization chain of the BeCl2. Similarly, we observe that it can also exist as a dimer, and this is the monomer. So in the gaseous phase, it exists as monomer and dimer, but in solid, it exists as this polymeric chain. These are the dimensions of between the different atoms, and this is bond angle. Then we see that MSO4, when we are heating, then we get MaO plus SO3, and similarly with the carbonate, and BoCO3 is stable to heat. Also, this is applicable to the group 2 elements, and solubility decrease from beryllium to barium as we go down the group. The carboxylate salts Mg to Br of the type MOOCr2, and all are normal salts, whereas BOH whole twice reacts with RCOH to give basic carboxylate. So when we mix this with our RCOH, we get this compound B4O OOCr whole 6. Then this is the hydroxide of calcium. When we mix with the hydrogen peroxide and add water, then we get this compound CaO2, 8H2O, and BaOH whole twice is the most stable and most soluble hydroxide. This is the lattice enthalpies, and this is the melting point. You can keep it in mind if you want. And the peroxide and superoxide are not formed by combustion and tend to be unstable because of the smaller M2 plus, which are highly polarizing. When we react magnesium with nitrogen, we get this compound Mg3N2 on heating. And this is Mg3N2 when we react with water, then we get the hydroxide of magnesium and ammonia. Uh, and when we dissolve group 2 elements in ammonia, we get blue solution, we know from our GDS, because of the solvated electrons. And if we add more and more, we'll get a bronze colored solution. And all of the group 2 elements except beryllium form an ionic hydride like MH2 on heating. The metal is the hydrogen. The stable BH2 can be prepared by pyrolysis of tertiary butyl beryllium. So when we add BCl2 with this compound, which is the Grignard of tertiary butyl, then we will get this MgCl2 and this, and afterwards when we pyrolyze it, then we get BH2. So this is elimination reaction where we'll get a double bond here, and BH2 structure is similar to BeCl2 with BEH, BAE bond similar to that B12 And what is kinetic liability? So kinetic liability is that if you are able to eliminate any part of the atom with the forming of more stable double bond or triple bond, then this have an easier path for decomposition, and such is the beta hydrogen elimination. So when we eliminate anything, we get this double bond here, and this is a reversible reaction where if we add C2H4 or take out C2H4 in this reaction, we will be able to get these both compounds in an equilibrium state. And with carbon, we can observe that B2C, when we hydrolyze, we get Bu and CH4. So this is a structure which is observed if it is Ca2 plus and C2 minus. Uh, then RCl plus Mg gives RMgCl, which is our Grignard. And when it is solvated by ether, because if it is presence of any water molecule, then it will give an explosive reaction because it is a very highly reactive compound. And we have to keep it in presence of very non-reactive ether. And RMgCl, when we react with our ketone, then we'll get a structure like this. And then when we add H plus, then we get something like this. So finally, the R will get added to this carbon, and then we'll get an OH. So you can just keep this shortcut trick in mind. Then PCl3, when we add with the Grignard of ETMGVR, then we get PET3. So this is the structure when multiple atoms of R are attached to Mg, and this is the more bigger structures, and this is formed because of 3 carbon 2 electron bonds. So just like we saw in the case where of beryllium, and this is methane. So there the electrons are shared between them. There are 3 centers: beryllium, carbon, beryllium, and this is 2 electrons which are translocated between them. This is group 13, and group 13, the topmost element is boron, but it is typically non-metallic with little characteristic of metals. And as we go down the group, metallic character increases, and the innate pair effect comes into play, and hence lower oxidation state as compared to the +3 from top will come back to +1 because the inner electrons cannot be excited. These are some properties of boron. So it naturally occurs as borax, which is Na2B4O7.4H2O, and it also has a 10H2O form also. And on acidification, it gives boric acid, which is written as BOH3 whole thrice, but it will give us a false sense that this is a base, but it is also written as H3BO3. So we have to keep in mind this is an acid, not a base. And on heating, BOH3 dehydrate to give B2O3, and then B2O3 on reduction with Na and Mg gives amorphous non-crystalline boron. And reduction of BCl3 over H2 heated tantalum ion offers a crystalline boron. So this is the method of getting the crystalline boron. This is the method of getting a amorphous boron. Then aluminium. Aluminium, as we know, is the next element in the group. So after oxygen, silicon, aluminum is the most abundant element on the Earth's crust. And then important ore is Al2-H2O, which is used in metallurgical process also. The metal is obtained by electrolyzing dry alumina in molten form Na3Al6. Gallium, indium, and thallium are fairly low abundant occur to the minor components as a range of minerals such as fluorite, which is ZNS. Then element B combines with oxygen, halogen, sulfur, nitrogen with main element. It resistant to acid and only reacts with molten NaOH above 500 degrees. So we have to keep this in mind, the temperature, and it only reacts with NaOH. And aluminum is very reactive, and it forms a passive layer of oxide on its surface, and Al dissolves HCl to give AlH2O6 ion and hydrogen in strong acid hydroxide solution, giving aluminates and hydrogen. So this is the reaction which you have to remember. Borides. The borides is when heated with most metal borides are formed similar to carbon and silicon. The structures are depend metal to metal boron ratio and contain single pair and chain, double chains, and variety of other structure. Compounds with composition M2B and Fe2B have single boron and with 1:1 ratio. In M2B, which has sheet structure, whereas MB6 have a cluster of six boron atoms contained together in a cube of metal like CSCl structure. And this is MB12, which is interlinked and it forms an icosahedral structure. And with this number, you have to keep in mind that 12, whenever we see, you have to keep in mind the icosahedral structure, and it is found in crystalline boron itself. These are the structure. This is icosahedral. This is the layer sheet structure, and this is a cluster, and this is chain. And halides, so trivalent halides are formed by these group elements, but it has poor bonding as we go down the group because the poor overlapping of pi bond over this between their uh, orbitals. Then while BX3 are monomer structure of ALX3 depend on halide X, and ALF3 is a high melting polymer, so we have to keep in that mind. And the structure of AL3 is solid state has six coordinate AL structure and Cl bridges. However, in the liquid and gas phase, it is dimeric with dative bonds with Al and Cl. So they will have a dative bond, and AlBr and AlI3 are dimeric in all states. And then finally, all the trialides are powerful Lewis acid forming adducts of the type MX3L, and often BF3 is used as adduct of diethyl ether. So adducts are important property of this group elements, and it is mostly formed by boron. And the formation of MX4 minus MX3 addition of halide can be viewed as in the form BF4 minus and BF3. So for Al and other elements, more than one ligand is able to add and form maximum six coordination, and BCl3 is a volatile liquid. So how to handle it? So we can form a adduct of it which is less volatile, and then we can store it in form of Me2S dot BCl3, and which is easy to handle and less sensitive towards hard bases. So from here we have ended our lecture 4. Okay, so thanks for watching. Peace.